Flopsy and the Easter Bunny Olympics, Part 1. Though usually a happy hopper, currently I was a decidedly unhappy bunny. Physically, I lay in my Monk's River burrow, safe and secure in bed, but mentally and emotionally, I was sad and scared. Even while knowing that I should sleep, I lay there reliving my failed January 6th attempt to secure a slot in the March Hare's Easter Bunny Olympics. A slot I'd gladly give my less lucky left rabbit foot for if sacrificing said front paw would guarantee me a popping chance at success. Whether my sadness flowed from my fear or whether my fear flowed from my sadness, my head was filled with foreboding. I couldn't shake the feeling that come 9 o'clock I would once again fail to be among the best bunnies in Chiwere-Siouan, that despite all my hard work and all the hours and hours I'd spent training to earn being one of this year's Monk's River Easter Bunnies and possibly earn a position as a bunny competitor in the International Easter Bunny Olympics, I would again flop. Despite my sadness, I smiled. Flops, I said to myself. There's a funny bit of wordplay for a bunny named Flopsy. I was very familiar with what skills were important for Easter bunnies. I knew how important speed, stealth, endurance, the ability to slip into humans' houses, drop off Easter trees, and then get hopping to the next house on a bunny's route were. I knew that bunnies were selected based on all those skills, along with the "oh, how cute" factor when judges decided who got to be an Easter bunny. And ever since my failure to advance as an official Easter bunny the month before, I'd worked extra hard on all these tasks. I'd worked extra hard, but had I worked extra hard enough? Today was my last chance to advance in the semifinal bunny games. All around the world, international bunny games would be held with the next full moon come March 7th. So February 5th was the absolute last Easter Bunny Olympic tryouts for this year. If I fail today, then I, like so many others of the billions and billions who dreamed of being an Easter Bunny, would be passed over as their district's Easter Bunny. Lying in my bed, I flop back and forth restlessly, trying but failing to convince myself that I had as good a chance as any bunny to measure up in this year's Easter Bunny Olympic Games trials. I told myself I really could beat the other big bunnies around my district, that I could best my bunny buddies and move on to the next and final phase in becoming an official Central Chiwere-Siouan Easter Bunny. I told myself that I could win, that I could earn an Easter Bunny title, a title that represented the end-all, be-all of nearly all bunnies throughout all the various and varying districts in God's great big green earth. I told myself that, but I didn't really believe it. I was trying to convince myself that my chance of winning was sky high, but recollections of my failed attempt one moon cycle back prevented me from believing my own pep talk. Unable to sleep, I slipped from my bed, grabbed bunny tails great and small from my bookshelf, and sat on the floor. I stared through my bedroom window up at the big, bright, full moon, my mind sifting through detail after detail concerning all things Easter Bunny that I'd learned in school, in books and videos, details dating back to the very beginning, 2,000 years ago, with the first century creation of the Easter Bunny Olympics. I opened my book and flipped to the section that detailed how the games had been restricted to allowing only brown bunny believers to compete for the title of Easter Bunny. That this brown bunny's only rule had held fast and strong until the eyes of bunnies all over the world had been opened by the July 28, 1866 unearthing of Beatrix Potter's Peter Rabbit epistle, the very book that had convinced my parents, Fiver and Clover, to christen me Flopsy. Skimming through the article on Potter's Peter Rabbit epistle for the dozenth time, I again read of the schism, a big, broad divide between bunnies of differing hues and beliefs. I read how bunnies who were friends and neighbors turned on each other and literally fought because the Peter Rabbit epistle declared that black bunnies were just as good as brown ones, an idea that had been rejected throughout recorded rabbit history. My book presented a picture that said that with passing decades, black and brown bunnies realized that including black bunnies as Easter bunnies upheld the traditions of the Easter Bunny Games. It declared that a century and a half later, most bunnies agreed that including black bunnies in the games didn't just keep the game strong, but actually made the game stronger. There was a chart displaying bunny participation in the Easter Bunny Olympics that showed a huge spike in bunny participation beginning with the 1896 Easter Bunny Olympics, the annual 16-day worldwide competition. The chart showed a 10% bump in participation with the 1896 Olympics and an even greater increase in bunnies who came to watch. Turned out, Potter was right. Every year since 1896, the Easter Bunny Olympics had grown not only in size, but also grown to be more respected and admired with the inclusion of a wider palette of rabbits than they had been in their monochrome past. The great change, the inclusion of black Easter bunnies participating in the Olympic Games, led to a steady increase in its strength and popularity. Including black rabbits led to greater glorification of the Easter Bunny Olympics, and the games grew from already being loved by many to being embraced by more and more bunnies. The Easter Bunny Olympics became the annual sporting event heralded by the billions and billions and billions of bunnies who hopped all over the earth. There's even ongoing speculation that the Potter Epistle was the driving force that brought rabbits to Australia, but this theory is still under investigation. The article concluded with a paragraph about the world-famous 1968 Cassidy survey. The survey showed that following the 1968 Easter Bunny Olympics, that at some time in their life, every wascally wabbit who hopped, burrowed, and or nibbled, hopped, and dreamed that they might someday, somehow earn the title of Mr., Mrs., Miss, or Ms. Easter Bunny.